Lena sat in her small apartment, staring at her phone. Her heart felt heavy. Just 2 days ago, Liam, her boyfriend of 3 years, had said, "I think we should break up." No explanation, no long talk, just those words. She didn't understand. Was she not good enough? Did she do something wrong? The question circled in her mind like a storm. For the past 2 days, she had barely eaten, barely slept. The city around her continued to move, cars honking, people laughing. But for Lena, everything was frozen. On the 3rd day, she decided to go outside. She walked past the cafe where they had their first date, the bookstore where he bought her a poetry book, the park where he once surprised her with flowers. Everywhere she saw memories, but those memories were now only hers. Tears welled up in her eyes. "I can't stay here," she whispered. That night, she wrote a leave request for work. 1 week away, alone. Maybe distance could help her breathe again. Lena chose a small coastal town, 300 kilometers away. Not too far, not too close. The train ride was peaceful, the rhythmic sound calming her. When she arrived, a soft breeze greeted her. The town was simple. Old wooden houses, narrow stone streets, and a sea stretching endlessly. The shops had colourful signs, and a few people sat outside, drinking tea. "It's quiet here," she thought. "That's good." She walked along the shore, feeling the sand under her feet. The waves moved gently, whispering secrets only the ocean knew. The town felt untouched by time, and for the first time in days, Lena felt a small sense of relief. She found a small so clean hotel. Nothing fancy, but it was enough. She changed into a comfortable t-shirt and shorts. Just in time for sunset, she thought. The beach was nearly empty. She sat on a rock, watching as the sky turned pink. Then orange, then deep purple. A couple played in the water, laughing. A sharp pain hit her chest. That used to be her and Liam. She felt anger, sadness, loneliness, all at once. But then, as the waves carried away footprints on the sand, she whispered to herself, "It's over. Let it go." And just like that, she let the sea take her sorrow. The next morning, Lena woke before the sun. She walked to the beach, the air cool against her skin. At 5 a.m., she was alone with the sea. The first light appeared, painting the sky soft gold. It was quiet, peaceful. She planned her day. A local breakfast, a coffee, then maybe a walk around town. Lost in thought, she wandered too far and soon realized she didn't know where she was. No phone, no map. Great. She sighed. Then she saw someone. A young man with a camera, adjusting his lens. Lena walked up to him. "Excuse me, do you know the way back to the town centre?" The man turned, surprised. He had dark, messy hair and kind eyes. "Ah, a lost traveller," he smiled. "I can show you the way. I'm Ezra, by the way." "Lena, nice to meet you." As they walked, Ezra explained his passion for photography. He traveled to small towns, capturing beauty in everyday life. "I believe every place has a story," he said. Lena found his words interesting. When they reached town, she invited him for breakfast, over coffee and fresh bread. They talked about why they were here. Lena shared her breakup story. "I came to escape," she admitted. Ezra nodded. Sometimes, distance helps us see more clearly. Every morning, Ezra invited Lena to join him in capturing the beauty of the town through his camera lens. They walked along winding paths, sharing stories and learning about each other's perspectives. Ezra spoke about his passion for photography, how each picture was a frozen moment of time, telling a unique story. Lena, in return, shared her love for writing, explaining how words could breathe life into emotions and memories. One morning, as they sat on a bench overlooking the sea, Ezra turned to Lena and said, "You know, life is like photography. You need to focus on the good moments and learn from the dark ones." Lena smiled, nodding. "And like writing, you can always rewrite your story. We're not bound by our past." Ezra looked out at the horizon. "I used to think happiness was something you found, but maybe it's something you create, like composing the perfect shot. Sometimes you just need to adjust your perspective." Lena chuckled. "And like writing, sometimes the best stories come from unexpected twists. Maybe heartbreak was just a plot twist leading us to a better chapter." Ezra laughed softly. "It's funny how we see the world differently, yet our perspectives complement each other. Photography captures a moment. Writing gives it meaning." Lena rested her chin on her hand. Maybe that's the secret to moving on. Not just capturing or writing about life, but truly experiencing it. Ezra nodded thoughtfully. Perhaps growth isn't about escaping the past, but embracing the lessons it left behind. They both smiled, realizing how similar their passions were. Inspired by their conversations, they decided to learn something new after the trip. Ezra would try his hand at writing short stories, and Lena would start learning photography. It was their way of carrying a piece of this journey forward, a promise to themselves to keep growing. A week passed too quickly. The last morning, they stood by the train station. "No promises to meet again?" Lena asked. Ezra shook his head. "No promises. But when you become a great photographer, call me. I'll cook you dinner." She laughed. "Deal. And when you have your first piece, call me. I want proof." As the train left, Lena looked out the window. No more sadness, no more weight in her chest. She was stronger now, and for the first time in a long time, she was excited about what came next.